Today's lesson is called POP. POP means passion on purpose. When you have passion on purpose, and I want to give the credits of this lesson to one of my mentors, Rory Ray. It is in a program that she invited a guest speaker, I can't remember her name, that she talked about this POP, and it's such a life-changing lesson for me. So what passion on purpose really means is that when you know your passion in this world, it lifts you up. It gives you a kind of aliveness, a sense of, when you have a sense of purpose, you get lit up. There's a kind of aliveness to you that kind of like spill over on everything that you do. It spills over to how you show up in the world, how you treat your husband, how you treat your children, how you see yourself. So you start popping in essence because you know your passion on purpose. So when I learn about this pop, about I thought it sounded like a good idea, but do you know, for like a year or two, I wasn't really embodying it. And I'll tell you the moment where I start embodying it, in the hope that you won't just learn it here today, you'll be able to use my stories to really embody popping. So about a year or two later, I was kind of like praying for my health and well-being and long life and stuff like that. And a thought just came to my mind that if you are to justify the reason why you want to stay alive, what would it be? That was the question I asked myself, that if you are praying to God for good health, long life, let's say God were to ask you that, okay, why should I keep you on earth? What would those be? And then I thought about that question, and then I looked at my life and I looked at what is important to me, the things that are important to me, and those are like my children. I've brought some children into this world. They are in my care to raise some humans. They are really very important to me, that I'm supporting them the right way that they need to be supported. And my purpose work, being able to be an impact in this world, being able to help someone, extend a hand to somebody in a dark place so that they can smile again, be happy again, and to enjoy life. I told God that I want to enjoy life. I want to see your wonders around the world, some oceans, beautiful mountains, meadows, ambience, gardens, cities, food, culture, people. I'm just seeing like 0.0.0.0.1% of the abundance, the amazement of God, what God has put on that is called earth. I'm just in a tiny space that I want to experience more of your wonder, of your creation. I want to know more about it. I want to see more about it. I want to travel. I want to feel good. I want to feel happy. And so those are my number one, my children, my purpose work, my happiness in no particular order, actually. And then love. I want to experience love and good relationship with people. I want to have enriching, thriving relationship like the one I have with my community, with my husband, friends, with people. I want to have rich relationships. So those are my reasons for wanting to stay alive. And the moment that I identified those reasons, my core reasons for wanting to stay alive, it changed my life, because now it makes me feel grounded. When I wake up in the morning, I know the things that I need to do has to be what align with my with my purpose on earth. I was no longer floundering around, or maybe binge watching TV and doing whatever I feel like. Because now I ask myself that even God doesn't need, even God doesn't need a reason to keep somebody alive. God won't ask you that. Why should I keep you alive? God can keep anybody alive, even mad people on the street. God doesn't need a reason to keep anybody alive. But you need a reason to feel alive. God doesn't need a reason to keep you alive, but you need a reason to feel alive, to feel that vibrancy, that sense of aliveness. So even though God isn't asking me to justify myself, I took it upon myself to justify myself. You want to stay alive for your kids. What are you going to do today to show up for them? To be the best that you can in a no pressure way. What are you going to do today to impact your community? What are you going to do today to be happy? Because happiness, personal fulfillment is one of my core purpose of wanting to be alive. What are you going to do today to be happy? And that's just change the dynamics of everything. I found myself showing up better, doing things that I didn't think of doing. How are you going to love today? How are you going to show love to your husband today? Do you need to forgive? Do you need to forgive? Do you need to end a toxic relationship? How are you going to show up in a way that you are able to love people? Do you need to set boundaries? Because the more boundary you set, the more you show people how to love you. The more you show people how not to step on your toes so you can keep loving them. How are you going to show up today? When you know your purpose, it brings up different kind of questions. It helps you to consider the job that you are currently doing. Is that what you want to do? Is it in alignment with your purpose? It pushes you to consider some relationships that you are keeping. Are they in alignment? Do they fill you up? They make you happy? They give you that sense of connection, love? Are you getting it with it? Or is it toxic? And if it is toxic, then it is like the opposite of your purpose of having meaningful, thriving relationship with people. If you are holding on to resentment and unforgiveness, then it negates your purpose of having a meaningful relationship. And I'm just guessing, like, if that's your own purpose, because that's mine. So what I really need you to do is to sit down and ask yourself, what are my top 3 to 5 purposes on earth? What if I were to justify staying alive? What would be my arguing points? How will I make a case for myself if I were to justify it? And you don't need to justify it to God to keep you alive, but you need to make a case for them in order to feel alive. And when you feel alive, you can already see how that is going to impact your marriage. Because when you are lit up, you cannot ignite your marriage. You cannot put sparks in your marriage if there's no fire in you. You have to be lit up from the inside to be able to lit your marriage, to be able to spark your marriage. So when you have a sense of purpose, you are popping. It makes you pop. When you have passion on purpose, it makes you pop. So sit down and decide what your passion on purpose are.